All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakal Kodash, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, are two great kings, the gods that the King James Bible speaks of, which again, the true name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son, who the world of ignorance calls Christ. True name is Yahweh Shai. Second of all, I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar, and on down that rule and teach well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson, or however long the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai allows it to go. And I want to name the video, "The dollar is doomed / gold prices continue to rise." All right. And Lord Will's brothers can see on the screen. I just did a simple Google search for gold prices today. And Lord Will's brothers can see on the screen as of now, September 30th, 2025, as it continues to jump, gold is sitting at $3,893.30 an ounce. which earlier, which earlier I was watching Jero Salente, all right, and he was speaking on how the mainstream isn't speaking about this at all, which Fox or whatever, they have certain articles speaking on it briefly, but as far as like putting a lot of, there's not a lot of coverage on it. They're not talking about it like Charlie Kirk or the government shutdown, which we're in right now. It's a spirit because it happened. The government shut down right when the day of atonement started. So call law yum la yabashim shot. But yeah, like they're speaking about Charlie Kirk or the government shutdown or small hat land or whatever. Small hat is now land. It's really our land, the land of Israel. All right. The war in Israel or whatever, that they're speaking about mainly, but there's no coverage on this, and like there's not a lot of coverage on this topic of gold. And like Jero Salente said, all right, they're not putting a spotlight on it like that because it shows how bad things really are, which he's been saying. When the price of gold goes up, all right, that's terrible news for the dollar. It's terrible news for the economy. All right. So it says gold hovers near record high on U.S. government shutdown fear, soft job data. Which again, right now, the government shutdown has officially begun. Okay, I was looking at another one earlier. Okay, I'm on news, no wonder. Nope, where is it? Okay, it's not showing me. It's not showing me the article I was reading earlier. All right, it said it's at an all-time high or near its all-time high. I believe it's at its all-time high, if I'm not mistaken. Salakia. Okay, so yeah, which like Jero Salente said is bad. So I'm gonna play some of what Jero Salente said real quick. Salakia, pause it. Okay, Salaki brothers. Just to be safe, this is for edification sake. All right. Educational purposes only. I'm not using this for any monetary gain. Fair use, fair use. But I think Gerald Salente, Mr. Salente is pretty cool on using his videos. Pretty cool about using his videos usually. Cause I ain't never got a strike or nothing for using Gerald Salente's videos. But yeah, I'm gonna play what he said though.
Was it a bad month this time? We thought it would be worse, but it wasn't. Kept being artificially propped up by the AI team and others. So what happened? They say that markets hit record high, investors shake off shutdown. But then you read the Financial Times, today's, after gold prices spiked what, 71 bucks yesterday? They said that gold surges past $3,800.
And it's like his brothers just saw it continues to jump. That's why I wanted to speak on it real quick. It's just jumping like crazy, jumping up and down like crazy. Almost at 3,400 an ounce now.
Ounce amid shutdown fears. Now, wait a minute. Gold went up because of shutdown fears, but they're not fearing it on Wall Street. So who's bullshit? And here's the deal. Gold prices since last week have gone up almost $175 an ounce. That's a lot of money. Go to today's Wall Street Journal. Nothing. Zero. Nada. Yeah. Go to the business headlines. The business and finance section. Electronic Arts is biggest LBO ever. Oh, that's with the Trump family, that one? Oh, yeah. What bullshit this is. Jared Kushner making all this fucking money. So here it is. Electronic Arts goes, okay, $3,857 an ounce. $3,857 an ounce. I didn't think it would go up this quick when Trump first got elected. But the dollar's going to go down. Inflation's going to go higher. Interest rates will fall. The deeper interest rates fall, the higher gold prices go. Plus the geopolitical and socioeconomic problems going on all across the globe. Again, not one article in today's Wall Street Journal about gold prices going up that I saw. If we're wrong, let us know. But here are the headline stories in the business section.
Right, right. So Jared Salinski just said there. He said the prices goes up, the value of the dollar goes down, it gets weaker, which drives up inflation, so on and so forth. And inflation means higher prices in the store. Things go up, which creates more poverty, which poverty will eventually lead to violence in the streets. All right, eventually. So yeah, like we say week in, week out is going down. Things just continue to get worse and worse and worse and worse here in Babylon the Great. All right. This is Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7. For last that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it. Who's the he, the elect? All right, the scriptures speak about the time of, like we just read, the time of Jacob's trouble. And one thing, that's huge, is going to be huge, that's going to cause all hell to break loose is when this dollar goes. All right, when people's bank accounts get emptied, which we know is coming, or the dollar becomes completely and utterly worthless. All right, like in certain countries, you can use it as an example, like Zimbabwe, Venezuela, whose currency went to zero because inflation, which eventually led to hyperinflation, which the U.S. dollar is well on its way to that. And like Gerald Salente said, with the prices of gold going up, it's the indicator that inflation is rising, which again is going to continue, which is going to drive the prices of goods up, which is creating more poverty again, which is eventually going to it's going to get ugly in the streets. All right. Yeah, so in Jacob's trouble, when all hell breaks loose, and one of the things that's going to cause all hell to break loose is when there's this dollar crumbling, or the dollar system being completely and utterly pushed out of the way. Which we know eventually everything is going to be digital. Everything is going to go to digital, become digital. The microchip. All right, which the microchip technology is the mark of the beast. All right. So again, in Jacob's trouble, one of the things that's going to help drive Jacob's trouble or create chaos in the streets is when this dollar is completely and utterly pushed out of the way. All right, which again, that day, all right, or that time is coming soon. All right, the scriptures say what we prophesied, not of a time far off, This is right around the corner. All right. This is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 14. They are blowing the trumpet. Who's blowing the trumpet? The prophets of the Lord. And how do they blow the trumpet? So when they go on the highways and the byways and push this word, even to make all ready, but none go to the battle, for my wrath is upon the multitude thereof. And we're blowing the trumpet, warning you about what? This economy collapsing, the dollar becoming completely and utterly worthless. All right. Which again is going to be one of the things that drives Jacob's trouble when this money system is put out of the way, or inflation is so high that people can't afford groceries and things like that anymore, completely can't afford them, which is going to cause looting, again, more crime. All right. And it's going to be one of the factors that help bring about Jacob's trouble. We got to believe, the scriptures speak about it. The full storehouses being found empty, spoiling one another for the lack of bread, like it says in Esdras. All right. So, yeah, that's the thing we're warning our people about. The pushing away of this dollar and all the violence that's coming down the pike, even to make all ready, but none go to the battle, for my wrath is upon the multitude thereof. All right. For the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within, and he that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. Right, and that's Jacob's trouble. Verse 19, and they should, I'm jumping down to verse 19, and they should cast their silver in the streets, and their gold should be removed, and their silver and their gold should not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord, and they should not satisfy their soul, neither fear their bowels, because it is a stumbling block for their iniquity. Right, so it says they're going to cast their silver in the streets. All right. Your money, your funny money, your fiat currency, all right, it's going to be worthless. All foreign forms of currency are eventually going to go to zero, all right. And Esau is going to cause the masses, all right, to take that C-hip if they want their life back, to things to go back to normal, so-called normal. All right, and again, like Gerald Celente said here, gold prices going up, all right, is an indicator of how bad inflation is bad and is getting worse. All right, which again, inflation causes the prices in the store to go up, and it continues to jump. And again, it causes the prices of goods to go up, which creates more poverty, which poverty leads to crime eventually. People getting killed, people getting put to death. All right, which again is what Esau wants. Order of KO, create the problem and come with the solution. And the solution would be that C-hip. All right, once this dollar is gone. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I just wanted to speak on it briefly with a little longer than I actually wanted to. But I was watching Gerald Celente earlier, and I just checked it out again to see the prices of gold, and they continues to jump, up and down, up and down. Tomorrow we wake up, it'll be 3,900. Next week could be 4,000. All right, by the end of the year, it could be like 7,000 or whatever. Or the dollar could collapse completely, hopefully. But with that, again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rekakwadash. Double honors again to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And peace and safety to you, brothers that push this truth and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say shalom.